Hello and welcome back to yet another My Hero Academia video. Today I'm gonna talk about something that me and at least one or two friends talked about a while ago back when Kurogiri was captured by Gran Torino. And that is the possibility that Kurogiri may in fact be part of a bigger plan, a master plan, a long-term plan in fact. It's not really a plan that's gonna happen anytime soon, but the first steps have already begun. Now, the prediction or idea in question is that Kurogiri is being captured on purpose because he wants to get into the prison where every other villain is held, potentially even the same prison as All For One, Tartaros. Because we know, well, at least a lot of people assume that at some point in the future there is going to be a jailbreak arc of some sort, and I think in order for a jailbreak arc to happen effectively, they need to really have a good plan in order to get everybody out. You can't just use brute force. That is not going to work, especially not given the villains that the League of Villains currently have at their disposal. They're not really equipped to deal with that kind of force, I think. I mean, we have Gigantomachia, but he's about the only powerhouse that they currently have that we know of, because Dabi isn't really that powerful when you think about it. I mean, yes, he's probably currently the strongest out of the villains that we've seen in terms of sheer force, even compared to Shigaraki, because Shigaraki isn't really a powerhouse no matter how you slice it. So in order for them to have an easier way of actually getting, you know, All For One, Muscular, everybody else out, potentially even Rappa and some of the Expendables, you know, other villains that we haven't seen, all kinds of people, in order for them to join the League of Villains, or at least potentially join the League of Villains. I mean, if they get them out of prison, that in itself may even be enough to persuade them to actually join the League of Villains. And the League of Villains need more people, because right now the League of Villains, at least the front line of the League of Villains, is not really that big. I mean, you have Toga, you have Twice, you have Spinner, you have Dabi and Shigaraki, Gigantomachia, but you don't really have any other people that we know of, at least. I mean, we had Muscular and you know, All For One, all of those people, but they ended up being captured. You know, we even had Moonfish, which only Tokoyami's night mode was able to deal with. So Kurogiri is captured. Now, I think if this is set up to be a plan in order for them to break out every villain, it is going to have to be done in a very interesting way, because Kurogiri's quirk, as we know, it is to create gateways. He can create, you know, portals, essentially. In the prison, he's probably not gonna be able to use that quirk when you think about it. I mean, it's a prison, they're probably gonna have some way of restraining your quirk. But what they're probably gonna be doing, because I have a feeling, you know, it's a prison, so everybody excluding All For One probably has some way of actually walking around in their cells, because they're not as dangerous as All For One. All For One is quite the exception when you think about it. Like, he has this extreme security around his cell. Doesn't mean everybody else is gonna have that level of security. So Kurogiri is probably gonna spread the word somehow and make everyone aware of what's about to happen at some point. Kurogiri and Shigaraki have probably discussed this a lot, maybe even the entire League of Villains, and they're probably gonna have some kind of time frame of when this will be going down, so that Kurogiri can, you know, tell everybody when to be prepared if they actually decide to be in on it. And I think it's gonna happen. I mean, a lot of people think it's going to be happening, because Shigaraki right now, while he is growing as a villain, he can't really reach that level that he needs to be at unless All For One gets released, in my opinion. I believe All For One is going to have to help Shigaraki grow to some extent even more, like give him quirks, give him his quirk. I don't really know exactly what's gonna happen. A lot of people think Shigaraki is going to be getting All For One, but there's also the possibility that All For One is just gonna grant quirks to the other hands that we have seen Shigaraki been carrying, because we don't really know what those hands are for. It's not really been confirmed. So I think that's gonna play some kind of part. I don't think those hands are just for show. So it is going to be interesting to see exactly, you know, if Kurogiri's capture is actually having some kind of deeper meaning, you know, if it is a plan of some sort, or if it's just completely by chance that he was captured that easily, because when you think about his capture, it seemed very simple. Not really the build up to it, because we didn't really see the build up to it. We saw the conclusion of his capture when he was on the ground and then Gigantomachia appeared. What really struck as surprising to me was how they were actually able to get away without Kurogiri being able to sort of help out Gigantomachia. Like, Gigantomachia was able to pretty much create a crater that even took a chunk out of a mountain, and yet Kurogiri remained captured by Gran Torino and everybody else. So I question just exactly how did they capture Kurogiri and get away from Gigantomachia when they didn't have anywhere near the level of firepower needed to actually counter Gigantomachia in the first place. They had to evacuate, and even if they were to just straight up evacuate, Gigantomachia would have just followed them, but he didn't. He stopped. He didn't actually follow them all the way, which makes me think that, you know, maybe it was a setup that is very clever, because the heroes probably don't know about it. They don't expect anything like that, especially not if this plan is designed to be taking place at a very much later time. It's not gonna happen anytime soon, especially not right now, because we're in a license exam. I think that's gonna play out without any villain activity at all. Could be wrong, but that's what I think is going to be the case. After that arc, we don't really know what's gonna happen, of course. Could be the shared studies arc with 1B, doesn't have to be, but it's gonna happen soon. But whether it's the next arc or not remains to be seen. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the discussion there. So I would love to know what you guys think about this idea of Kurogiri's capture actually being a setup or a plan to actually break out all of the other villains eventually, because they will need an inside man, so to speak. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below, and as always, if you did, be sure to Detroit smash that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. This has been your favorite host Perm, and I will see you next time.